να μου πείτε αν τη βλέπετε. Βλέπετε την οθόνη, βλέπετε τον κόμπον τούτον, έτσι.
Μια χαρά, ναι.
Και βλέπετε με και εμένα σε μικρό παράθυρο.
Σωστά.
Και ακούτε με καλά. Οκ, εντάξει.
We're live on YouTube now.
Τέλεια. Stream on YouTube. Ξέπιασα το link.
Alki, I repeat, we are live on YouTube as of now.
Okay. Excellent.
Give it another 3 minutes till it's 4. Okay, letting people in now.
Okay.
Welcome everyone. People are joining. Let us have another. We'll give about a minute as people are joining. Let us give about a minute or two, Alkimo, so people can join in.
Okay.
So everybody are joining in now. For everyone, as you're joining, before we get started, and welcome everyone, I'm also going to start a poll now. So a question is going to pop up in front of your window, in front of your screen, basically. Just answer the question, please. So as you're joining in, till we get ready to get started, answer the one question that appears. We have around 30 people in the room currently. We wait for another minute or so till everybody joins us. I have with me today Joanna Vrioni as well on my left window there, who's going to be
hello everyone.
And of course, Alkis, who I will be saying a couple of things about him very, very soon.
Hi, everyone.
Before we start. And of course, we have a very interesting topic. And I guess that's why you joined us today. The topic is interesting. Hopefully, Alkis' presentation will also be interesting as well.
Thanks for the vote of confidence.
Of course,
in inverted
of course.
commas,
Always.
Marius.
Oh, come on, come on. Always, always.
Excellent.
Okay, I'll give it another minute or so because I see a couple of more people entering. Okay, I see some familiar names here. So hi, everyone. I'm not going to say everyone by name, but I see a lot of familiar names here. So welcome, everyone. So I'm going to keep the poll going until I do my introduction, and then I will end it and share it. Alki, you see the results already, I think. But let me just do the introduction. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining us in this live online webinar today. As always, EIMF is trying to offer several of such type events every year on its own with other partners to make sure we offer to our learning community a chance to learn something new, something different, have a discussion with us. For this event, we invited Alkis, and we thank Alkis for accepting our invitation to join with his topic today. Alkis is before I introduce Alkis and the topic, I wanted to say a couple of, because if I don't do it now, I'm going to forget basically. I want to say some basic things. For today's presentation, Alkis is going to take around 20 to 35 minutes for his presentation. Then we will be, during his presentations, you can ask any questions using the Q&A. So there's a Q&A button on the bottom of your screen. Use that to ask any questions you might have. We will answer questions at the latter part of this webinar. So we'll start with the presentation, and then I'm sure you will have questions and we'll answer those. I feel that this event we should be finishing by 5:15 maximum. So Alkis, I know Alkis for some years now, personally and professionally. Alkis is so welcome, Alkis, and thanks again.
Good to be here.
Alkis is a consultant, a trainer. He's a founding partner and director of a priori management training.
A priori.
A priori, sorry, it's Italian part.
That's fine, that's fine.
A local training, a consultant and company. He helps, through his work, he helps individuals, sales teams, and companies in selling by advising organizations on sales management and strategy. He delivers in-house training on the same topics of sales that are custom-based to the client's needs. Alkis likes to talk to the clients and go through this coaching, business coaching to sales executives and build programs internal for companies. Here at EIMF, we're glad to have Alkis as one of our training experts. He offers a number of training seminars on several sales subjects that have been developed having in mind the specific needs of the EIMF audience. So you will see several courses that EIMF offers with Alkis as a trainer. He has worked in a number of industries such as market research, IT, telecommunications. He held a number of positions. He served as a sales manager at CableNet from 08 to 17. During CableNet's period of growth, starting and challenging, I would say, at that time as well.
Very true.
Alkis holds an MBA from the CIIM. He holds a bachelor's and a master's degree in electrical engineering from Cambridge University. So that's it about Alkis. Thanks, Alkis, for joining us. Alkis will be discussing today with us the topic of how to of the clients. Are they difficult to find? What's happening with COVID as well? And I'm hoping to have a nice conversation with Alkis later on because I have several questions as well. So I entered the poll. I'm sharing the results, Alkis. You can get started. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Marius, for your wonderful introduction and your kind words. I am truly honored to be here at EIMF with you today to share this presentation. I actually wanted to thank every one of you for devoting your valuable time and being with us. I know it's a busy era. It's a very difficult time that we're going through, and your attention is very much valued. I wanted to just say before we start our presentation that it's a very good thing to be here and actually share some thoughts regarding clients, regarding the conversation that we should all be having. Now, let me start by sharing my my presentation slides. Just a moment. I'll just share my screen and put on the first slide here. Okay. Now, and this is the conversation we're about to have today. Do you feel disconnected from your clients? And as per the results that Marios has shown us, we have around 60% of us believe that it is more difficult to connect with our clients right now than it was about a year ago. And about, if I'm not mistaken, 17%, was it Marios, that believe that it's about the same?
17 up easier and 25 about the same.
25% about the same. And it's very interesting to know what it means that it's 17% of us believe that it's easier to connect to our clients. Perhaps you have solved the challenge that is in front of us, and would like to hear about that a bit later on. But today we will also talk about ways to win back the relationship, one client interaction at a time. And let's see what we're about to discuss today. Today we will acknowledge the market situation, the state the market is in. We will also recognize our own mindset. How are we feeling? How are we feeling about things going on at the moment? And we will see what we can do about this. We will talk about 5 actions to powerfully re-engage with our clients and get that connection, that spark between ourselves and the client back on board. So before I go into talking about the current market environment, I just want a couple of technical points. The slides of this presentation will be sent to you via email later on afterwards, with your registration via Zoom. So don't worry about the slides. You will get them. And also, if just a technical thing, if someone is not familiar with Zoom and you have this little screen that you see myself, Marios, etc., and Joanna, if it's obstructing the slide letters, just move it around. Use your cursor to move it around so that you can actually see the presentation. Now, let's talk about the current market environment. What's the situation like today? What's the market situation like? We have many industries disrupted. We have the restaurant business. We have the entertainment business. We have all of the I don't know what other industries. Tourism. We have fine arts. They are all, some of them are pretty ruined. Some others are just disrupted emphatically. And we have some other situations. Basically, we have a lot of high revenue loss in some industries, some revenue loss in others. We have the ripple effect, which is a very important thing that is happening. Your customers' customers are in trouble, and that makes your customer be in trouble financially, procedurally, etc. And that, in effect, comes back to you. So even the service industries, which I'm sure we have a lot of people in the audience today from the service industry, from the finance industry, from IT industries, even them, they are affected because of their customers, and customers' customers are affected. And there's a high business uncertainty, as we are all experiencing at the moment. So let's have a look at the people's behavior now. How this is an even more important discussion. How about these lockdowns and safety measures? How have they affected us? But basically, everyone is more busy. All the IT managers are busy. The HR managers are busy. All the line managers are busier with extra procedures and extra things to do. You had 5 things on your plate, now you have 25 things going on. So what about our customers? Our clients are prone to be unavailable to talk, less available to talk with us. And something very important, the time horizon has shrunk. The time horizon of project planning and planning new budgets, new projects. We used to be planning for 1 to 2 to 3 years previously. Nowadays, we plan for 1 to 3 months, maybe. And this is something that is greatly affecting our future sales, our upsells, and our operations in general. And as a result of that, the most popular option in a proposal is do nothing. We don't have our biggest competitor is not another company that is competing with us. It's the do nothing option. Our customers are inclined to be postponing and indecisive and all of that. So what do we do about that? Let's have a look at our mindset for the moment. The market's mindset, I believe we just pretty much covered. Our customers' mindset, it's mixed. Some of them are thriving even. That's a small majority. Some of them are concerned, as just discussed. Many of them are concerned. And what about your company? If you are a your customer-facing manager or executive, maybe you have colleagues in your company that are they have a certain mentality. Are they happy with the whole situation? Are they apprehensive? Are they in a difficult position? We are all a little bit troubled. And what about us, ourselves, yourselves, and your customer-facing team? How do you feel today? That's an issue. Are you feeling very busy and stressed? Do you have many things going on your table? Do you have lots of phone calls to answer, much more than before? Is all of that pressure taking you? Is it becoming too high? Is it becoming something you cannot bear any longer? So you have half given up and you have slowed down your pace and you cannot take it any longer. And it's something that is making you feel like this guy in this picture. Or are you just sitting back and just enjoying life because the whole world is turning upside down? So why stress? We might as well just be happy about it and sit it out, let it pass, drop down our productivity. Maybe you're feeling like that. All of that is positions that people are feeling right now. So how are you? How are you? That's a question we ask ourselves. We ask actually our peers and our clients all the time. And I used to do it at the beginning, at the first lockdown, during the lockdown and after the lockdown. I would call my customer, "Hi George, how are you?" And he would say, it's a difficult situation, Alki. And I would respond, "Yeah, I know what you mean. Tell me about it. All the customers are changing their schedule. They're postponing the trainings. We have a lot of things on our plate. It's a very difficult situation, etc., etc." And at some point, I stopped in my tracks and I said, "Where is this going? Where are you? If you negative talking, what is that? How is that helping you?" And it just suddenly struck me that we tend to complain a lot and act very little. There's a lot of complaining going around in the market, in our peers. I mean, you must have experienced it yourselves and doing it yourselves as well. And we need to recognize that this is not very constructive. But what can we do about it? So let's have a look at our first recommendation. Action number 1: upgrade your mindset. Don't swim against the current. Don't try to go against the current. Just instead go with the flow of the whole torrent, the river coming towards you. Jump on the surfboard if you know about surfing and use it and swing back and come back and win the day. Use the energy that you can use. Accept that we're here for the long run. This is a marathon that we're running. It's not a sprint of 100 meters. Clients will be more risk averse, less available, more indecisive. And we need to recognize that there is a tremendous opportunity in front of us at the moment. Everyone right now is looking for guidance. Everyone right now is looking for somebody to help them, to show them the way, to lead them through this insecurity and unsettlement. So be that person, be that guy, be that lady that can lead your customer through outside of this uncertainty. Be the shining beacon of light, showing them the way. And I actually don't mean this romantically. I mean this in a pragmatic way. Become that leader within your customer's relationship, within your customer relationship. But if we want to do that, we have to go to work. We have to do a few things in order to upgrade our mindset and take some action, which leads us to our next recommendation. Action 2, understand your client deeply. Do the research. You need to do your homework and understand. I don't mean a standard KYC that we do, know your customer, because of administration. We're talking about really understanding your client's drivers. What's driving them? What's their strategy? What's going on in their industry? Are they is it crumbling, their industry? Is it striving? Is it going up? Is it growing? They have different drivers, depending on the case. Do you know the key stakeholders? Who are the protagonists within your customer's company? Who are the 3, 4, 5 people that are decision makers? What's their role? What is their character like? Is George impatient? Is Maria somebody who's much more analytical and takes time with things? Do you approach them in the same way? Or do you approach them, do you tailor your approach towards each character? How happy are they with you? Are they generally happy? How happy is the organization, and how happy are the individuals that you come in communication with you? This is very important. And what are their goals and hopes? I'm talking about their personal business goals. Perhaps Andreas has an aspiration to get a promotion, and he's very sensitive about that. Perhaps Elena is a little bit apprehensive, and she's afraid not to lose her position. So all of that, what are their problems and pain points? All of that, personal and also business pain points. Do you know all of these things? If you know these things, then you can move on to the next action and be very about it. Action number 3, make every client interaction a positive experience. Can we do that? Well, let's have a look at the lifetime cycle of a customer. You approach a client, you sell them, you negotiate something, you sell them something, then you deliver it. Then perhaps you account manage your customer for a few months, and then a problem occurs. Something happens, and there's a downtime, or there's a problem, and your problem support solves it, and there's a resolution, and the client is happy again, and you go on and you account manage, and then at some point you reapproach your client and you upsell them, and so on and so forth. This cycle goes on and on, hopefully indefinitely, so hopefully in a growth spiral, taking you to the next level with your customer. But let's have a look at this cycle first and investigate. Are our clients less or more tolerant in the way they're feeling generally right now after COVID? Are they? And here's an example from the telecoms industry, since I come from the telecoms industry. Not so long ago. I mean, the past 3 years, I believe we have all been bombarded by phone calls to our personal mobile by certain aggressive, assertive operators trying to pass their mobile plans towards us. We all know there's 1 or 2 companies doing that a lot, quite aggressively. Now, how likely are you to be very patient if you receive a phone call like that today? Are you likely to be more tolerant or less tolerant, less patient? Or are you likely to get pissed off with them receiving such a phone call? I believe, excuse me, I believe we're all, we could all agree that it's the collective patience has fallen, basically, and people are much more aggravated. Yet, we apply the same approach in our daily dealings with them. This sales cycle has some touch points that we keep on the same procedures, and this results sometimes when we have a problem incident, our customer who's impatient to be getting pissed off much more easily. So here's the thing to do. Walk every step of your sales cycle, of your lifetime cycle, customer lifetime cycle, and have a look through your client's eyes and see if that makes sense, or if you have any points that are the interaction becomes much more with a lot of friction. Can you alleviate that friction? Can you change something? Can you alter something? So evaluate every important interaction, and then we need to take a few steps. Perhaps we need to train our client service teams on user friendliness. We need to get them to be aware that people are much more aggravated. So take them through a user friendliness training and better approach towards the customer, alleviating the pain, alleviating the troubles. Get our people to promise things, and then deliver them. Accountability. Do what you said you would do. That's very important. We've all been troubled by organizations that promise 1, 2, 3, and then they deliver 1 and 2. Just promise one thing and deliver it. That's much better. Manage your customers' expectations. We need to rethink all of those touch points through the lifetime cycle of our customer, and maybe redesign some of those touch points. Maybe not. Maybe the industry is your cycle is fine. And it needs no changes. Maybe it does. So have a look. And also, we can take it to the next level, and we can go to what the Rain Group calls strategic account management. Some of us know it as it's more known as key account management. So basically, an elaborate approach to a design, basically, that takes care of your customer, takes care of the whole. It basically tackles, first of all, it gathers all of the client servicing teams, not only the sales people or the client support people, but also the engineers, the accounting staff, the administration staff, and aligns them all so that all our guns are pointing towards the same direction. Everybody has the same mentality. Everybody has the same mission to fulfill within the organization. And this is a rigorous process, actually, that it is not just cannot be explained with one in a 25-minute, 30-minute presentation. The other thing it does, it builds a growth path for your customer, that upward spiral that we all want to upsell, and bring up the relationship of the customer. Now, we go through all of these with a training program that we have here at EIMF next month, actually, in March. It's a 2-day program, and it's online, I believe, at the moment, and it goes through and tells you all the steps that you need to take through your organization to transform it to be strategically account managing your clients. But before we go to the next action point, let me ask you: are you finding it more difficult now to reach your clients when you want to sell to them? Is it more difficult as a process? And please type yes into chat if you're finding it more difficult to call your customer and reach them and get them on the phone and talk. So please comment on the chat. Just a simple yes is okay. And basically, I believe many of us are finding it more difficult. So what if we get more organized? What if we could get more organized and get our customer, once they call us and they need something in particular, maybe they have a problem they want us to take care of. Or maybe they just need a report that we can send them while we have them on the phone, while we're serving them. As soon as we've served them and they feel happy, could we be organized to know what we are up against, what we wanna put across and sell to them? And could we do it at that point? Could we open a conversation then? There's a thought that we can use nowadays with at this challenging environment. So moving on to action number 4. Whether you're selling, if you call your customer, or if your customer called and you're doing this this thing that we just discussed, maybe putting across your sale after you've served them, sell assertively, be prepared, and be quick to deliver value. Be quick to deliver value, because nobody wants to waste their time nowadays. They don't want to be their time to be wasted by you asking unnecessary questions. Know what you need to know. Know it from before. Do your research. Be prepared. Show them that you know. Show them that you understand their pains and ailments. Show them that you care. This way you're relevant. And in demonstrating quickly that you're relevant, you gain their confidence and you show them that you can actually be of value. Then ask a few meaningful questions. Then you should ask your questions to fine-tune and understand the situation better. And this is something that you need to understand and get a hold of the whole situation. Then lead your sales pitch with a conviction. We need to be able to actually do what we were talking about. Everyone right now is looking for guidance. So be that guide. Lead the conversation, lead the relationship. That's the only way they will actually hear you and listen to you and actually bring the level of the relationship higher. Propose solutions that are solving their problems, solving their current problems, their nowadays problems, not for later, for now. Now, all of this is great, and we actually need to be doing this. Can we take it a step further? Can we take it higher? Here's how. Same action point, selling assertively. Can you reframe your customer's point of view? Can you make your customer look at things in a different way? Can you switch angles to the problem? Picture this. There's your customer looking at it from left to right, and there's a circle over here. He or she, your customer perceives a circle. He sees this problem in front of him that he thinks is a circle. And then you come along and because you know the situation, you have a better perspective. You know yourself that the truth is that this is actually a cylinder. It's not a circle. It's a cylinder. It's a bigger problem. It has more aspects. It has more impact. There's a hidden cost to your customer that you can expose. Can you expose that? Can you find yourself in such a situation? Can you teach your customer something new about their business that they didn't know, or something new about a problem within their business that they didn't grab hold of? Can you educate them about that problem that they had and they neglected? They're thinking that it's not such a big issue. Let me illustrate this with an example. Now, suppose I'm calling my customer to sell. This is an HR manager. His name is George. Too many Georges today. Let's call him Marios. So I'm calling my customer Marios. He's an HR manager. It's just before the lockdown. It's late November. We're about to enter the December lockdown. And I wanted to sell a sales training. So I'm calling Marios. Hi, Marios, how are you? Yes, Alkis, I'm okay. Yeah. Tell me what's going on. Well, Marios, have you seen that proposal that I sent you? Would you like to proceed with that sales training that we were talking about? Alkit, to be honest with you, I'm very busy right now. I have all of these people that I need to take care of their remote work. I don't have any time to discuss this. Can we talk in 3 months? And then he hangs up. In Cypriot, efaporta. So that's how things would go. Now let's try it another way. I'm calling Marios, and ring. He answers. Hi, Alki. How are you? Well, Maria. Do you have 3 minutes? Can I bother you for 3 minutes? He says, Mario, sure. What's up? Maria, I have this this idea that I believe it's a fantastic idea, and I really wanted to share this with you. But before I do that, I know you're very concerned with the coming lockdown and all of your employees that you need to take care of them, and the IT and all of the difficulties. So I will only take 3 minutes of your time. Let me ask you this question. Are you worried about the fact that your sales team will be at home and perhaps they won't have too many, because they won't have too many appointments, they will have a lot of time in their hands to do whatever they need to do. They don't even know what to do. Are you worried about that? And Marius would say, oh, gee, I didn't think about that. I don't know. And let me ask you something else. Are you worried about their morale also? Do you think their situation working from home would be in high morale? Well, no, you're right. Actually, this is a big issue that we're worried about, and we don't know. We know a few things that we can do, but we don't really. We haven't figured it out yet. So here's my idea, Maria. How about we do a sales training, 3 consecutive days, bite-sized online training in small batches, so that they don't get, so that they are constantly reminded that of all these things that they know that they love, selling, sales, and all during this exercise, this training, we will remind them that they belong to this company, and their morale will be brought high. They will be kept in contact with what they're doing. They will get educated with something new, and we will keep their time so that keep them occupied, so that they won't have nothing to do. What do you say? Marius would say, well, now you put it this way, that sounds like a good plan. What can we do? And then we would get into a discussion of how to set that up, basically. So that's an example of reframing your customer's point of view, showing them an aspect of a problem that they didn't think of, and then solving it yourselves. This is a popular training concept by Gartner, which is a top 20 sales and consulting firm in the world. Challenging your customer, basically, the challenger sale, challenging your customer. Tell them what should be keeping them up at night, as opposed to asking them what's keeping you up at night. Tell them what should be keeping them up at night. Give them the full exposure of the problem, and then solve it. Then offer your solution. Can you solve it? Can you offer a solution to that problem? And can you also beat the competition? Is it something that you can do? Put differently, ask yourselves this question. What's currently costing my customer more money than they realize? It's costing them money, and it's costing them more money than they realize, that only we can help them fix. Only we can help them fix, or we can help them fix it better than the competition. Can you ask yourselves that question? So think with me for a moment. Do you picture an industry, a customer's industry? You have think of a particular customer. Think of a problem that they may have, that you can expose it. They don't fully know it, and you can expose it. Can you help them fix that problem? Now, if you find that, please type yes in chat. Please, and please keep this question. This is an important question, and see if you can answer yes to this question. If you can answer yes to this question, you're in a great position. You're right where you want to be. And if you can answer yes to this question, you can build on this. You can build a sales pitch. And this is the subject of another course that we're teaching here at EIMF, actually next week, on Tuesday and on Friday. It's a 7-hour course, 3.5 and 3.5 in 2 days. It's an online course, and it's called Assertive Consultative Selling, and it's centered around reframing your customer's point of view, showing them a problem that they didn't realize they had, and showing them the solution. and we'll get you to apply that for your organization. So join us. Now, which brings us to our fifth and final recommendation. It's all great to understand this, and perhaps we have some owners of businesses in the audience, and we have some managers, and we have some team leaders. But if we understand it and our people don't know how to apply all of these things, all of these wonderful things that we discussed earlier, then we're not getting anywhere. We need to empower our people. To run a marathon, you don't just buy new sneakers. You don't just say, we are this now, and that's the end of it. You need to train, of course. You need to develop an ongoing growth system for your teams to cultivate a new approach, to cultivate the new skills required. And that requires a lot of training in institutes like the EIMF here, where we have programs, but it also requires in-house training. Perhaps we can help with in-house training within your company as well. A tailor-made program for your specific needs. Now, training is not the end of the world. Is not the end of the story. We need to actually get down and dirty. I mean, the senior managers here within the hierarchy of the company need to roll up their sleeves and get down to it and come and apply on-the-job training and help out with all the training that you might have run. Then apply role plays within your working place and get your salespeople, get your client servicing people in a room, play the customer, get your salesperson to play the salesperson. Maybe reverse the roles also, put them in the customer's shoes as well. Do the role playing, do it a lot. It requires a lot of winding and grinding these whole concepts to actually land them and get them to be natural in front of the customer. So do a lot of role plays. There's also facilitated role plays that we can help with. We can come and bring examples, real life examples, and we're ready with that in that way to help you out. So give us a shout. The other thing that you can do is, last but not least, employ business coaching and mentoring. This is something that is it's a great tool in the hands of a manager, and actually it can be done by a line manager. He or she can be the mentor and the coach of their team, or you can bring an outside coach to help you out, to actually show you the way that you can that it's a one-to-one conversation with an executive. The executive learns how to be supported, and it's a brilliant way, it's a brilliant investment to actually bring your team to the next level. Now, that's all from me. I would like to really thank you very much for your undivided attention, for all of your attention, for being with us over the past half an hour, I believe. And I'd like to just share my contact details. This is my emails, my telephone numbers. Feel free to just drop me a line on my LinkedIn, on anything. Whether if you have questions, put them on chat, or even if you think of a question later on, don't hesitate to just contact me and ask your question, ask away. We would love, EIMF and myself would love to help your organization to solve your current challenges. Yeah. And with that, I would like to thank you very much, and I'll give the microphone straight back to Marius.
Okay, thank you very, very much. Everybody, if you have any questions, now, since we have Alkis with us for the next 10-20 minutes, I have a couple of points. I took a few notes here as well myself, so I have a couple of questions for Alkis. But if you have any other questions, you want to ask them, just add them in the Q&A. First off, just wanted to say, Alki, that in listening to your overall presentation, in experience in COVID and relationships with our clients as well, here, one of the takeaways for me with this new reality, let's say, is that we need to restructure and rebuild our whole organizations from the bottom. I mean, I feel like we need to be, because COVID happened now, but things happen at all times. So you don't know what's going to happen in 10 years, in 15, in 20 years. So we need to make sure our organizations are always ready, adaptable, flexible, and we have to have a culture of change, because it makes everything easier after that.
That's very true.
I will, one of the, this is, I guess, is totally out of the conversation we're having now, but at the end of the day, even in terms of COVID response, in terms of the government level, we saw across the world that countries that were more prepared in Africa and Asia, they responded faster and better to COVID rather than European countries and America, for example, who we didn't have any response system. So I guess the whole idea of to be prepared, to adapt, to change, and everything else should be there and built in an organization. I have a question from Katerina here. So can you talk, and thank you, Katerina, for sharing this question. Can you talk about some of the unicorn success stories of selling during COVID lockdown? Can you give a real life example of a success in sales during lockdown? What did they do that was unique? So I guess Katerina is asking for an example.
Okay. Well, an example of a sale that has indeed happened within COVID is this example that I actually shared with you in my presentation. I called this HR manager. This is not a fixed case that I discussed. It's a case. This HR manager called Marios that that I gave you as an example, which incidentally it's completely a coincidence, Marie, that it's the same name with you. It's a real life example that we have actually managed to sell and gain traction within COVID, within all of this environment that has been crumbling around us, and the training industry. The training industry is one of the industries that have been affected, as you know, to a certain extent, Maria, because people want to actually move on with their lives as soon as they come out of lockdown, and actually let's call it in Greek Cypriot na trαβήσουμε κουπί. So actually go through our own exercise, our own business, as opposed to actually train. However, there are solutions in every problem. One problem has at least one solution, and with the example that I shared with you, we managed to turn a difficult situation, a lockdown, and the additional problems that creates to a company, into a winning story, to actually a sale of providing a training within the lockdown, providing an online training, and we actually happened to do that during the first lockdown as well. So this is something that we have run. I don't know if I'm answering your question. I also wanted to Katerina's question. I also wanted to add to that, Marie, with the culture of change that you mentioned. The culture of change is something that is 100%, 200% that needs to happen, that needs to change. We have been able to be selling previously, but nowadays our account management, our taking care of our customers has become much more difficult with many more obstacles. That's why we truly recommend for all service companies and all companies servicing clients to go to a strategic account management doctrine. The strategic account management does two things. It picture these two problems. You have a company, you have a team within your company selling, and they oversell and they make life difficult for tech staff, for the people that will implement, because they sell, put it in Greek, lavous me petrachillia. They sell a lot of other, they completely oversell, and then it's the time for the engineers to actually implement all of those things that are unimplementable. So that's one thing. So not taking care of your colleagues internally. Another, a reverse problem, the sales and account management team doing a good job with taking care of the customer, and then the customer calls in with a problem, and because the support engineers and the support group are being very strict, the relationship crumbles. Now, sales strategic account management would cure that, because they would put everybody on the same plate and they would give them the same point of view towards the customer, a culture of change, a culture of growth towards the customer, and actually getting all of these people to understand and redefine the mission. Which is the mission? Serving the client, really serving the client, not having silos. I don't care, I am an engineer, I am an accountant. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be to be politically incorrect here. Or I don't care, I am a salesperson, I only need to sell, and that's it. It's a culture of keeping the relationship with the customer. Everybody is responsible. And that is actually, it's pretty well taught in our course next month. So that's, this culture of change is very important, Maria, to come back to your comment.
Yes. Let me ask, since we're not having, I think we have another couple of questions, but I have also another question. Let me have 3 questions here in total from 2-3 different people. So one of them, at some stage of your presentation, you said something about support, that now is a time to support the staff, to invest in the employees. You mentioned several keywords: coaching, mentoring, in company, with them company. What sort of coaching or mentoring would be more appropriate, let's say, during this period?
Yes, thank you for the question. This is actually a very valuable tool in our hands at the moment during this time. People are very, there's a lot of anxiety going on. People need support. There's a lot of, it happens in all companies. All of our companies have an example that someone has been a high flyer, but now needs a little bit of support because they're not in their 100% game. Or maybe you have because it's a challenging environment, you have a colleague that you've always known that they need to develop a particular quality of theirs, and now is 100% the time to do that. And you can do this with coaching. I'll give you an example of from my experience, from our coaching. I've been approached by an organization to develop a particular line manager. She was in operations. She still is in operations. A junior manager. She knows her job really well. She knows all the products of the company, and has been recently asked to deliver sales, to do sales for particular products that she knows best. But there was a confidence problem. So I was approached with a specific need for the organization, from the organization. Can we do something about it? And what coaching does? We did a series of 6-7 sessions together with this lady. What we did, what coaching can do for you is that the coach and the client sit together, and we recognize the situation. We understand what are the strong points. What's the challenge in front of us, basically? Where are we? What do we need to achieve? We want to achieve to have much more confidence in front of customers. So that's a clear goal. You define your goal. Then you look inwards. You see your strong points and our challenges. What do we have in our mesti faretrammas? What's our ammunition? What can we work with? What do we have to to develop. And then we build an action plan. The action plan is, it's how do you answer the question, how do you eat an elephant? Okay, I apologize for this gruesome example, but you eat an elephant one spoonful at a time. So basically, siga siga, you build an action plan and you conquer it bit by bit, movement by movement. And this coaching, basically the whole process exposes to the coachee how you can tackle some problems that they look like mountains in front of you, and bit by bit you actually go up to the hilltop and you conquer it, and that's conquered. And it's then you turn behind you and you say, I did all that. This is what coaching can do for you, and it also it provides you with the process that you can use yourself in your own problems later on in your life, in your business life, in your personal life. So that's how we can support our teams or our certain individuals that are holding certain positions that are challenged at the moment. I believe it can be a very powerful tool for managements and businesses right now.
I had a question here. I'm not sure which slide is referring to, but just current question on mentoring coaching. Can we also get a look at the last slide while the question is answered? So can you share your last slide, I guess?
Sure.
And
let me then reshare my screen.
Also, I have another question here. Let me find it. How can we get more in this era we live? How can we, any suggestions, basically simple suggestions we can use to access new clients, to find new clients? Anything you want to share?
Sure. Let me just share the last slide again. So this is the one. I believe that's the last one. That's even better. Okay. So these are the ways we can empower our people. And to go over them again, it's develop an ongoing growth system. This is something that you need to devote energy, a lot of energy into. That means it translates to training. It translates to on-the-job training, sitting down with your employees, role plays, business coaching, all of that. And to answer the other question, you mentioned some clever ways of approaching new sales at the moment.
Yes, some clever ways of getting new sales.
How can we get new sales? Well, that's
approach new clients, new people, bring them in.
How can we approach new clients and get new sales? Well, cold calling or cold contacting via LinkedIn or even traditionally via the phone is basically the traditional the way to actually bring in new accounts, to approach new customers. Now, this has become much more difficult in our days. You can always get a referral from another customer. You can ask who this customer, your friend, your trusted client for a long time, can he give you or she give you some referrals, some clients that they feel they would find your services useful. This is something that has been very, very much traditionally throughout the years, very successful. Because if you go systimenos in Greek, if you go with being introduced by someone that they care and they know, then that opens the door. This is an obvious choice, obviously. Now, in terms of actually answering the most difficult question, which is, what about, Alkis, if we are doing a cold call? If I do want to contact a new customer, and I want to call them up, and I don't have a referral, but I want to target this particular company, how do I do that? Now, it goes back into my slides. If you've seen the slide, I would like to just refer to another slide of mine. Just a moment. Let me go back to this slide. And we need to do all of these things. We need to sell assertively. And this starts even from the first phone call. The first phone call is your first sales pitch. And at that moment, you have about a minute, when even less than that, during this difficult period that we're passing, during which, say, perhaps 30 seconds, the customer will decide whether they want to listen a little bit more of you, about you, or postpone you, basically hang up Evgenika, politely. So basically, what you need to do, you need to actually be very assertive and deliver value right away. Be quick to deliver value. This, what I have over here, is whether it's a meeting that you're attending towards a customer of yours that you know them, or whether it's a new customer and it's a meeting, or even whether it's a new phone call, the first phone call that you're targeting. In that situation, that's the top difficult situation, let's call it. And we actually have a course about cold calling, about how to hunt new customers, which is I believe in April, and it's running. And you could attend to it. Again, it's 7 hours, and it teaches how to do assertive, powerful cold calling. My tip for that would be, what are we trying to do in a cold call? We're trying to book a meeting with a customer. We're trying to win over their time, to get them to listen to us enough to want to meet up with us, even maybe a Zoom meeting. Now, if the Zoom meeting or the actual meeting, Kaliora, now that we're going to open up in March, April, and we will have face-to-face meetings, if that meeting is your movie, then what is that cold call? The first cold call. It's the trailer to that movie. It's the advertisement to that movie. So you need to be, what do trailers do very, very well? They whet your appetite. They bring your level of wanting to listen to that person high. So they basically open up questions and they don't answer them fully in order to get your client's attention. Okay, I want to listen to this guy. Go, you have 5 minutes, or go, let's have a meeting and discuss. So these are a few tips about how you can approach new customers. Get referrals, which is an easy way, a sure way, or cold call and sell assertively. Be very prepared and know what to do. Actually, practice in the mirror. It really helps.
So I have another question, Altin.
Okay.
Interesting one. I like the point of this one. I will try to phrase it in the best way possible.
Sure.
What can we expect in after post-COVID? Basically, after post-COVID, will things in sales go back to normal, or shall we expect some of these changes to remain there? Some of these different ways that we need to approach clients, etc.
Yeah, that's a very good question. And the person that knows the full answer to that question can become a millionaire, or is already a millionaire, because it talks about forecasting and getting ahead of things and understanding how things might turn out. I believe, my personal opinion is that we will get back to a certain new normality. We will have many elements of our previous life we will go back to them, such as face-to-face meetings, a more normal environment where we can plan for 6, 7 months, 1 year, as opposed to planning the next 2 weeks right now and having all this uncertainty. And we will have more long-term projects that we can plan. Now, obviously depends on the industry also. If you're talking about the IT industry, there's a lot of growth in the IT industry because of COVID. If you're talking about mainstream other industries, I believe in general we can go back to our normality. There are certain things though that are here to stay. What we are all doing right now in our windows is a very efficient way of communicating. And even though we are reminiscent of actually shaking each other's hand and connecting with people, and we are Mediterraneans, sto gado. We want to have physical presence and connection. All of this is a very efficient way of communicating. So it is here to stay. It is here to as a complementary way of communicating. I believe it will be there. Physical meetings will be there. Microsoft Teams, Zoom meetings will be there, as well as old-fashioned phone calls will be there. Now, with regards to normality in the ease that we used to have, I believe, and there's a bell I would like to ring here. We used to, as salespeople, customer service people, as well as all other people, have been used to a growth phase in Cyprus before. Picture how it was November 2019 and earlier. It was a growth phase. It was a good phase. We have been used to getting it easy. Now, I don't think that will return anytime soon. So if you're, I had it in my slides, if you're waiting for this hurricane to pass and then go back to your standard way of your modus operandi, I believe you should think twice. I believe what will happen is that the industry is a tougher place already, and this will stay being a tougher place because budgets have changed, because companies are more conservative, and because it's harder to actually to sell 100 euros piece of service or product these days, nowadays, than a year ago. And this will remain to be so. So we better get our act together. We better find ways of, I don't know, let me just share this slide that I have over here that we just went through. We better sell assertively, be prepared, and deliver value, and really get to here. Excuse me. Get to offer solutions. Find problems that your customers are neglecting, and offer solutions to those problems. Basically, if you can answer this question, what's currently costing our customers more money than they realize? Not only we can help them fix, this will sell in any environment. And I challenge every one of you to actually go into it and figure out an example like that. And it's one way of it's one thing to understand this question, and another whole matter entirely to actually develop the sales pitch for this and deliver it powerfully to a customer. If you can do that, well, in order to do that, we can help you here at the EIMF next week, Tuesday and Friday. Come join us, and we can help you do that. But this would be the vehicle. Imagine that you walk into a meeting with a customer, and an hour afterwards, you walk out, and they're hanging at the edge of their seat, hanging on every word that you have to say. Κρέμονται από το στόμα σου. And you have become their trusted advisor. Can you picture that happening? Well, that's something we can deliver, and
okay.
It's something that should happen.
I have one last short question here, and then we'll wrap it up. Another question, basically, if you think that LinkedIn it's more effective for promoting business rather than cold calling.
It depends. I would say that they're both tools, and they're both there for the use. Depends on the people. You need to first of all, the first thing we need to do is go to work and research our client, research them well, understand them, ask around about this customer, this industry, this person that I'm calling, that I'm about to call or contact, because we're talking about people, either calling someone or cold LinkedIn messaging someone. I believe it's a valuable, LinkedIn is a valuable thing because, or just a plain old email, but LinkedIn is an even more interactive medium because it allows the other person to the luxury of answering whenever they want. So it's a message that they get offline. They have all their time to think how they're gonna answer to you, and you have all the time to develop a nice pitch, a nice line that creates that gets whets the appetite of your customer. On the other hand, it's less direct. If you are good on if you can deliver a compelling sales pitch, maybe you shouldn't exclude the telephone from your pitches. And actually, nowadays I would combine the two. I would find ways, because there are people that are more susceptible, more happy with. There are people that are very, very much into the fashion of LinkedIn and they want to be active on LinkedIn and everything. And this is actually, there's nothing wrong with it. It's great, in fact. There are other people that are not really active with it and they don't really like it and they prefer phone calling. So I would use all of them, and I would call in different times during the day. So do your research, and no matter what you do your research, understand what their drivers are within the company, understand what they're up against and what their problems might be, and call with a specific strategy in mind. Of course, you need to be flexible because it might not be true what you're pitching. It might not be appropriate, but if you do your research pretty well, chances are you will be close to the truth.
Okay, well, in terms of calls, I'm going to ask this last question, and we'll wrap it up. Let's just because you mentioned these calls again. In terms of calling, isn't sometimes a mistake? Is expectation of the call is a mistake? So a lot of times somebody calls a client expecting to sell in that call a €1 million deal. Maybe shouldn't the expectation be set different? For example, the call will be to familiarize myself with the company or to arrange for a meeting so they learn more about me, or to, isn't that a layering of
Very
actions true. In terms of closing the deal? Because a lot of times we make a call, we expect to close a deal, but that's not going to happen. It rarely happens anyway.
It rarely happens. Yes, Maria, I think you hit the nail on the head, and you are the nose salesman yourself. I mean, you do this. You've been doing it all your life. Definitely. I mean, the purpose of a cold call is not a sale. The purpose of the trailer of the movie is actually to get you to watch the movie. So the phone call is actually is there to, at most, to win a meeting with the customer. That's what it's trying to do. At least, which is something that you mentioned, it's a very good example, to gain some kind of traction with the customer. That might be giving the customer something, giving them something as a gift. A gift. I'm not talking about a €20, I don't know, bracelet or some, I don't know, a giveaway. Maybe something that is small and useful for them. Something that might make them remember you nicely. Keep it short, keep it sweet, and then you can bother them in inverted commas. It's like you've earned the right to bother them again, to get on the phone with them again and have a discussion, and maybe then win the meeting. It's bit by bit. It's definitely layers, and it's much more sensitive. The target market, the customer is much more sensitive nowadays. So I am with you 100% on that.
Okay, so Halki, thank you very much. people, everyone who stayed with us. Most of you did stay with us until this time, so thanks for staying. As said earlier, the presentations will be emailed to you. Alki's presentation will be emailed to you. Alki's already mentioned a few of the events that are happening. You can go to the EIMF calendar and check out the trainings that are coming up, the relevant topics. They are all there. We'll be glad to see you in our trainings. And at the same time, in terms of this specific topic we discussed today on sales, business development, customer support, training your staff, drop us a line if you have any needs, any suggestions, any other topics, any things that you want us to go into more depth and maybe present another webinar next month. Any of these, just drop us a line and we will do that. So thank you very much. Thank you, Alki. Thank you, everyone. We hope to see you in the next one.
I would also like to thank everyone. Thank you so much, Marius and Joanna and EIMF for making this happen. That was truly a great experience for me. And I'd like to thank all of you for attending all of this, being here in this presentation. You have our contact details. Give us a shout if you need anything. We're here to help.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.